Okay, dokie, welcome back. Today we're going to play something a bit different. We're going to play some Raker Shops. So Raker Shops is a deck that over the first quarter of 25 has kind of taken the format by storm and cemented itself as well. It wasn't just a flash in the pan sort of job. Um, so what we are is we're a Mishra's Workshop deck with Ancient Tombs and City of Traitors as well. All the fast mana we can think of, including Manifold Keys and Grim Monoliths. And this can give us quite an aggressive start by ramping out things like a Patchwork or a quick Nettle Cyst, and it just gets very big because everything's an artifact. So that's one option. The other option is we've got Glaring Flesh Raker from Modern Horizons, where whenever we cast a colourless spell, including all our Moxen, we get a spawn and we bink them for one. And this goes infinite with two tops. So two tops and a Flesh Raker is just a kill. We've also got a Time Vault in here for Time Vault key stuff. Um, 4 One Rings, and then some restricted 4s in Mystic Forge, Khan, and Lodestone Golem. And then finally, there's the 4 Scrawling Crawlers, which is a card that came out in Foundations. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card, and whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. I've talked a lot of shit about this card. I don't think it's very good. But rather than just, you know, being a knob about it all the time, I thought I'd come and give it a go and see if we can find some justifiable reasons. I've played against it with Squee, I've played against it with PO, I've played against it with Doomsday, and I've never been particularly impressed by it from the other side of the table, but I think it's cool to give it a go, see if we can do some good stuff with it. The main advantage of it, right, is it's a 3 mana card that we can just tap a workshop, put into play, and it's going to start doing some work on our opponent's life total. If they don't kill us, or if they don't have a removal spell or counter spell for it, in our upkeep, in their draw step, it's going to bink them for 1. In upkeep, it's going to bink them for 1, and then we're going to attack for 3. So it's going to deal like 5 damage a turn, which is quite a quick clock, especially like turn 1 on the play. There's a Talon Gates here that kills a Collector Reef. There's a Strip Mine here that kills a Bazaar. There's a Saga here, which makes tokens, I guess. Yeah, I think that's the deck. And we're just going to give it a bash and a go. And sideboard, there's Master Cores, which kill Norods, Disruptor Flutes and Stone Brains for combo and Bazaar as well. Cage for Bazaar. Traps for combo. Dismembers, I presume, for mirror matches. And Mono White. Sounds good. Let's go to round 1. Okay, then. Round 1, we're up against Gershi. And we've won the die roll. So let's see how we do. Um, this hand looks dreadful, right? I mean, it's good if we draw a mana source, but if my crypt gets countered, if my crypt gets destroyed, if I miss a land, I'm combating with a 2/2. I think we have to do better than that. And this is a bit more interesting. So what goes back then? Maybe just the Time Vault, because then I can go Pearl, Soul Ring, Patchwork, Sapphire, Mana Vault, Sensei's Top. Take a look with Sensei's Top. Or Pearl, Mana Vault. Yeah, I think if I Pearl Mana Vault, I have more left over at the end. So we'll keep this, and I think I bottom the Time Vault. I might be wrong because I've got 57 keys in my deck, but you know. Pearl, Mana Vault, play a Patchwork, and now I can play Soul Ring. We'll yield to this guy. It's a bit like playing Affinity back in the day, isn't it? It's quite fun. We'll play a Sensei's Top and see if we can hit anything off of our activation. Maybe like a land as a Saga. Let's take a look. Khan the Great Creator seems good. The rest of it's pretty nonsense though, isn't it? But we'll put Khan on top. And now we'll cast our Sapphire, and we've got this activation again if we need to reconsider our order there. The opponent has an Underground Sea. Let's cast a Ponder. So it looks like Doomsday because there's no Lurrus revealed. And in my little play with Raker versus Doomsday, I didn't feel like the matchup was particularly close. I felt like a massive dog as the no, I felt like a massive favorite as the Doomsday player. So, is there a world where I actually want like I can make my guy bigger here, can't I? So if I think I might have ordered wrong. If I go back and I put Workshop, Khan, City of Traitors. Can I Control Z this? No. And now I can flip the top. But maybe I just want to take the draw step, because if they counter my top on the way back down, it's really bad. What I was thinking is I could get my I'm gonna try it. I can get my patchwork even bigger, you know? But if they counter this, then we just look like an idiot, because then I've just sunk my Khan. But then I've still got a Khan. So, am I wrong? No reason to be untapping this Mana Vault here. I can do it. I can just untap and then play City and play top, flip into Khan. This will let my whole line play around days, right? What's in our sideboard that's relevant in this matchup? The Stone Brain and Disruptor Flute. So there would be two reasons why this line's bad. So if I'd taken the Workshop instead, I'd be able to play, flip, and Khan into a Flute. I took the City though because I was thinking of casting Khan, well that's already sorted. So maybe a sequencing error to start with. Let's play a Sensei's top. Opponent's fine with that. And now I can just flip straight into Khan, right? And that plays around days. So I should probably just flip rather than make mana. Or rather than take a look at my third card, I mean. We'll attack for 5 to get started with, and then we'll post-combat the Khan. And there's nothing I can really tutor here. So I think we'll just accept that our top's on top. This is our main phase. We'll lead on Khan. I guess I could just tutor a Stone Brain if this resolves. Unlikely that this resolves. Yeah, Force Negation, pitching Ponder, that's fine. And it's just how quickly can our opponent kill us now. Next turn I get to top and look for something else to do. Opponent has an Underground Sea and a Time Walk. I don't need my sideboard anymore. My Khan is gone to join it. Then we've got a Scalding Tarn from the opponent. Consulting for everything, or just... Yeah, consulting for it all and then casting a Thassa's Oracle. Okay, good game. Good game. So going into game 2, Mind Break Trap's probably decent. People used to bring in Disruptor Flute against me. I guess that's fine. And do I want one Stone Brain main, one Stone Brain board, just in case I draw my Khan? And then what's bad here? I'm going to try not to cut the Scrawling Crawler too much, but I feel like the Scrawling Crawler's not particularly good here. I think I'm supposed to be a bit more combo-y than I am anything else. The 4 Nettle Cysts seem like noise. It's Talon Gates noise because they're not going to be oofing me, right? They'll be rodding me if anything. Does that mean I need a Master Core because they might have a rod? Or do I just cope with that? I guess I just cope. I don't know if I'm allowed to sideboard out lands, but Talon Gates is really bad. So Disruptor Flute and Stone Brain. Oh boy, do I just want to cut Scrawling Crawler. Maybe I just cut Nettle Cyst. And then Time Vault's probably a main way for us to win. Khan, Lodestone, Mystic Forge, these have all got to be good. Maybe we can cut a Grim. I'm going to cut the Talon Gate. It doesn't do anything. We'll keep the Crawlers. We'll keep the Flesh Rakers. We'll keep the Patchworks. We've dropped the Nettle Cysts in exchange for Disruption. But we're keeping our main combo-y stuff, right? Like, the Patchwork grows with top. The Flesh Raker kills with top. The Scrawling Crawler is a 3-mana 3/2. But if it's going to be good somewhere, it's going to be good against the deck that halves its life total and draws 5 cards, right? That's got to be factually true. So we've got a good hand. Is this turn 1 Khan? With Vexing Bauble ahead. 1, 2, 3, and an Academy. It runs into Mind Break Trap, but let's cast a Pearl and a Sapphire, and then we'll play Vexing Bauble. That just gets through. Okay, well, now I'll resolve a Khan, I guess. And I'll Khan for the other Stone Brain. Yes, please. The Stone Brain, please. You'll go. And how much is this to activate? It's 2. So next turn I can strip mine their land so that they can't consign me. And then I can Stone Brain them. And Vexing Bauble is new templating, so I can also plus and attack with the Bauble, right? I guess opponent just had a really fast kill, but going through Moxen and stuff, yeah. Because there's no chance you can keep no permission on the draw unless I'm dead, right? So I think they just had a really quick, like, Lotus Doomsday land ancestral hand, and turn 1 Khan kind of binks on that idea. Are we happy with how we're boarded? No, but I think I have to be. I'm interested in this Master Core, but it's one of those ones where, like, if they've got the Null Rod, the Master Core is one of our best cards. If they don't have the Null Rod, this matchup's nothing to do with power and toughness. Like, it literally is irrelevant. So it's just, it's quite difficult. But I think I'm happy with where I'm at. I do like the Talon Gates card as a land, like, land technology, but it's not very good into a deck where they're not going to produce a Collector Roof, right? And they're not going to produce a creature. So I think it's an acceptable cut. I don't have a Mind Break Trap, but there's only 2 of them. But this hand looks like it does something right. Turn 1 One Ring is probably a bit slow, but it might just be where we have to be, sort of thing. it might be better to be Workshop, Patchwork, Top, and Spin, because that way I can dig deeper for a trap. I think I like that more than I like the One Ring. Opponent kept on 7, plays Underground Sea Ponder, or Scrolling Tunnel Underground Sea Ponder. Like, the issue with Workshop Sapphire One Ring is that if it gets countered, we feel stupid. Well, not feel stupid, but if it doesn't get countered, right, I draw a card and then I haven't impacted the board. I haven't achieved anything in terms of like killing them. So I don't know what's better, Summoning Sickness or the One Ring. I think I actually quite liked my initial intuition, but then does Grim Monolith actually change that? I've got 6 cards in hand. Because Grim Monolith means that if I go Workshop Grim top, Workshop Grim Flesh Raker top, I'll have Sapphire floating and 2 nerds. I can't squeeze in a Patchwork on the way through. I think do I play the Sapphire to play around Days, actually? I lose a token, but I might gain a Flesh Raker. I think I'm going to play around what I can play around. Now I can Rake Flesh. That gets in. Now I can cast a Sensei's top. Yield to this guy. They snuff out the Flesh Raker. And now I've got neither of those things. So is it better to take a look or just develop a Patchwork? I guess I just develop a Patchwork because our plan has to change. And if they do go to 3 cards, we can flip our Sensei's top anyway and just hope for the Miracle Trap. Maybe I'm supposed to be like digging more for that hate, like Disruptor Flutes and Stone Brains and Lodestone Golems and stuff, but this hand was powerful. So this is something that, I don't know, you learn with more reps, though, is what actually matters in different matchups. The opponent looks to be doing pretty much nothing. Maybe just sitting on a Consign, an end step Vamp, a during my turn Brainstorm. All this stuff. So I think I'll just go to my upkeep. I'll take a look with top, but I don't think I want to flip top right now, because I think top could be useful. So what's here? Disruptor Flute, Vexing Bauble, Manifold Key. This is a very good stack and pile. So I think I want to go Manifold Key at the bottom, Disruptor Flute underneath, Vexing Bauble on top. We'll take a draw step. We'll play a Saga, get our trigger in, and then we'll cast a Vexing Bauble. We'll trigger our guy. This means we've got Disruptor Flute on top of our deck, and we have a flash card on top. And this Vexing Bauble quite annoying for our opponent. Let's attack for 2. And then we'll pass a turn. I don't know if I'm getting a response to this fetch land or whether I'm going in response to like a ritual or something. Their pile's now quite slow. I guess I need to go in their upkeep, and I guess I just name Thassa's Oracle. Because their Lotus is dead. I don't want to die to Consult again. And like I can't flute through a Consult. I can flute through a Consult if they sequence the way they did game 1. But game 1 I was hellbent, right? So their sequencing didn't matter. They've got rid of a Lotus. So like what's bad for us here? Ritual, Doomsday, Cantrip. I think I'm going to go upkeep. Okay, opponent's played a Vampiric Tutor. I'm going to let the Vamp resolve, and then I'm going to flash in the Disrupt Flute on my end step. I'll run into Force of Negation, but I'll dodge Consign. And I think those two things are fairly equal. I'd expect more consigns than negations in these post-board games, I think, but I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not running into negation. I've got a Vexing Bauble. I know how this works. So I'm going to flip my top. And I'm going to cast Disruptor Flute. And I'm going to name the Thassa's Oracle. Because that's the one that's in both combos, right? That's in Consult and Doomsday stacks. And yeah, they can make a Doomsday stack that's slow and dull and we'll get there eventually. But this prevents the top card being Consult or Thoracle and then just going land and killing me. So let's name Thassa's Oracle. Over to the opponent then. They've got a basic island. I'm not going to get any constructs off this saga, which is a shame, but here's a Dark Ritual. Or does it still kill? Oh, it's a Doomsday. Okay. So they should have a kill right here, right? Because so Doomsday walk. They need a walk now. They've just played a land, right? Yeah, turn 3. They're putting Black Lotus in the pile, which means they're going to also put in or are holding a way to answer this Vexing Bauble. But I feel like their card in hand has got to be Time Walk, right? It's the only way we get through the Bauble. Or Chain of Vapor. Chain of Vapor is a good one. Let's see what's in the Exile Zone. I know this is game 3, but I'm still interested. Thassa's Oracle into the Floodmoor is gone. Steel Sabotage Consign. There's no Time Walk here, which makes their stack either have Cycle Street Wraith into Time Walk or just holding Time Walk. And then once we've done that, so Street Wraith down to 3. Cast the Time Walk, which can put them down to 3 cards. But that is then getting close to the point where they can ritual out a... Oh, they're going to go for Ancestral into land Ritual Thoracle. Yeah, no, nice pile. Maybe I'm supposed to name Doomsday, but I was scared of the Consult. Oh, Hercules recall me. Very fun. Okay. I wasn't expecting a recall, but... And then they can just go Lotus Thoracle. Nice pile. Good game. Maybe my name on my flute's wrong, but they've just vamped, and there's 2 cards that kill me from 3 mana there. So I think I like the Thoracle. I think that's the most annoying one, but this is a nice pile. We lose the match. Let's go to round 2. Okie dokie, round 2. Round 2, we're up against my potatoes. We're gonna. They're on the play. We're gonna keep our hand. Opponent has Ancient Tomb into Blood Moon, which is fine by me, I think, actually. So I've got Lotus. Oh, actually, I can't cast my Flesh Rakers anymore, so it's less fine. But here we are. Multiple Crawling Scrawlers. So I can just play. What's better, Crawling Scrawler or Mystic Forge? I guess just developing the Mystic Forge is like the nut high, right? So I'm also holding Sensei's top. But that does kill my Rakers until I find a Soul Ring. Did I need to play around Mindbreak Trap in the main deck? I didn't think so. Let's play a Sensei's top. Oh, I can exile this Wandering, can't I? I don't need that. Oh god, a Nettle Cyst. Even worse. Oh, opponent plays a land. It's a Shatterskull Smashing, and then passes to us. We're going to draw the Nettle Cyst. No, I'm not. I'm going to exile the Nettle Cyst, because I want to draw lands and spells with text boxes. Ancient Tomb can flip. And then I can just go... I can just ignore my top, right? Or do I want to be actually playing my top? And working through my deck like that. I've made a land drop. I'm going to play a Crawling Crawler and then start working on our opponent's life total, I think is actually better for now. We get to stack our triggers in our upkeep, right? So, well, not stack our triggers. We get to resolve the Scrawling Crawler first, get our top back, and then play a Mystic, activate a Mystic Forge if we want to. And then after that... Is the damage of the Crawling Crawler going to like compound massively if we have 2? It is, isn't it? So City of Traitors from the opponent, 3 mana total. They've got a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's back to us. Each player gets a card. We get a top into our hand, and then we get Talon Gates, which I'm not sure I'm massively interested in, but it is just a mountain, isn't it? And mountains are probably acceptable here, because that allows me to play top and mess around. This is the same, because of Blood Moon. So let's take a look. That's another Scrawling Crawler. So let's just continually add Scrawling Crawlers to the board then, I guess. Play a Talon Gates. Play a Sensei's top. And then attack for 3, I presume, is fine. Or do we just sit back and chill out, because they're going to lose a billion life a turn at the moment? This triggers a tough one to resolve into double Scrawling Crawler, but they take it all just to the dome. Mountain Pyroblast, don't need you. Which is probably true, they've got enough mountains, and I don't have any blue cards, so... And in our upkeep, we're gonna draw 3 cards. And we can exile 1 on the way through. They've got a Null Rod, so we can't exile any on the way through. So now lands are super important as well. So we draw a bunch of cards. We win. Nice. Okie dokie, so sideboarding against mono red. I'm going to presume we want Dismembers, because this is going to kill Magus of the Moon, Goblin Bombardiers, Pyrogoyf, all this nonsense. We're going to want the Mastercores. That's going to kill the card they played at the end there, Null Rod. And on the draw, I think I want the Traps. On the play, I don't think so. Scrawling Crawler is likely really bad, right? We don't want to give the Prison deck more prison stuff, but it is also a kill condition through us being somewhat locked out. Maybe we're supposed to drop Time Vault and a key and like come down on some of this nonsense, all the activated abilities, whilst we're getting rodded. Just reduce our reliance on all this stuff, because that means they're not going to be. We're not going to run headfirst into that. Am I allowed to cut Flesh Rakers? I've got Mana Vault, and I've got Mana Crypt, and I've got Soul Ring. They're the only ways I can actually cast it, presuming Blood Moon. I need 3 cuts from here. I like the Crawlers, I like the Ring. I don't think I care about Lodestone Golem that much. Patchwork, Nettle Cyst, Flesh Raker. Maybe I just drop another key, another top, come down on that stuff, keep the mana, and then we can just trim like a 1 ring or something. And that's just a lot of activated abilities that have left the building, which makes hands like this a bit more palatable, right? If we get Blood Moon, it's really annoying, but I mean, Blood Moon's always going to be annoying. But the big joke here is that none of these cards have activated abilities, and this one does, but who cares, right? So Ancient Tomb, Null Rod, perfect. So I can just jam turn 1 Crawling Crawler. Just hit him with the old bash here. That doesn't have an activated ability. This doesn't look like a player who's about to cast a Blood Moon. We get to draw a card. It's an Ancient Tomb. And a City of Traitors. I'm not too stressed about my life total at the moment, so I think I can just play the Master Core off of an Ancient Tomb and have slightly more stable long game mana. And then bash for 3. Opponent's at 13. Then they take 1 in their draw step from our Crawling Crawler. So maybe this is really good when our opponent's not proactive. Maybe that's actually the joke. So Master Core is going to trigger. Ooh, that was poorly placed. Let's dink a Null Rod for now. And then draw a card. Classic. Opponent loses a life. Oh, opponent is so exceptionally dead, aren't they? 8 you. Bash bash. You're at 6. 3. I can put you to 1, then you die on your draw step. Nice. Flesh Raker. Top. Always yield. An opponent concedes the match. That was a cool one though, and I don't know if that sideboarding is good, but I like the idea of just reducing the impact of Null Rod, right? We sideboarded in some cards. We kept a hand that wasn't particularly impacted by Null Rod. It was heavily impacted by Blood Moon, but I think your opponents in these post-board games are going to be leaning more on Rod, right, than Moon. They'll still have the Moon, and they'll still slam a turn 1 Moon if that's how their hand lines up. But I liked the words I said in sideboarding followed by the way that played out, basically. Whether I'm supposed to cut Monolith 2 tops and 2 keys is a different story, but conceptually I liked it. Okay, round 3. We're up against Falcon, who I don't know. We've got this hand, which is going to put creatures into play on a regular and consistent basis. Opponent has a Mox Jet, no Lurrus. A Mox Pearl, no Lurrus. And a Flooded Strand, interesting. Is this just a turn 1 stock up? A Time Vault, wow. That's not ideal for the home team. And a key as well. Sensei's top. 2 cards left over. Not in love with our spot here. Scrawling Crawler is really bad then, right? If they're digging and they've got access to a top, then we can't really be crawling around and giving them more cards. Lodestone's lost his effectiveness and luster. Am I supposed to just roll out a Flesh Raker? Maybe I am. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's got to be better than Nettle Cyst, right? Vexing Bauble doesn't do anything. They've played everything. I think I want Flesh Raker because that's going to enable us to produce more mana next turn if another turn exists for us, you know? Didn't even look with the top. Doesn't care. Already dead. So they vamp, main phase. Oh, but they get a key and then... yeah, cool. Fine. Let's go to a new game. Good hand. What do we want? Do I want the Masticores? They're not going to bring in rods, right? Do I want the traps on the play? That seems really bad. Well, they just like tinker nonsense. So maybe like access to a cage in the main deck is good, and we've also got Khan to get the 2 out the board, just in case they're trying to. Maybe the other way around. Maybe I actually want 2 of these in the main because this turns off their main tinker plan. Mindbreak Trap might do something. That's 4 cards coming in, and then we can just drop the Nettle Cysts. Lean slightly more combo. The wondering, am I supposed to just like, maybe my matchups haven't been the ones for it where I've drawn the Wandering, but like, you play it and then you cross your fingers and pass the turn. It's quite tough. I think I mulligan this because this is horrible to look at. So land patchwork. I can't. I'm gonna put the workshop back. I can't bait because the Khan's a bit of a knob. So my bait has to be patchwork. Cast an emerald. So it'd be nice if I could lead on the Wandering here and then cast Khan next turn, but that's just not allowed due to the rules. Oh, that just gets in though. It saves me some brain power. Khan's powerful. I think I would have just got the cage and dropped it in play there. Anything else we want to do with ourselves here? I don't think so. I think I'm quite happy. My Mindbreak Traps get more text on the draw. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we're at. This Grafdigger's cage is really loose, right? But just no Lurrus, and they played full Moxen, Vamp and stuff. I just think they're just going to be a Tinker deck, and I think this is one of the best ways of combating the 2 Tinker bots. And if it's rubbish, it doesn't really affect me. It only hurts my... Mystic Forge, and like all I've lost is a Nettle Cyst, right? And I've gained a Mindbreak Trap as well. This hand produces 1 mana. This hand produces more mana, but also passes the turn. I think we keep this because if we get a turn, it could just be like a nice cheeky turn 1 kill if we top deck a land. If we get misstepped, it's going to be painful. If we get null rods, it's going to be painful. There's a lot of cards that hurts here, right? Like any permission spells is going to dick on us as well. Opponent's mulligan to 5. Is this someone who's mulligan to null rod? Thought sees me. Okay, take my Mox Pearl and the game's tough. Or don't gamble, take the time vault, be happy with your position. Make me play a Crawling Crawler. Mox Pearl's the gambly one though, because if I draw a workshop, I didn't draw a workshop. Tolarian Academy. Taps for 0, untaps it. Passes the turn. Ancient Tomb. Mana Vault. Force of Will your Mana Vault. Play a Mana Vault key. Opponent has a Mystical Tutor, no cards in hand. So just going to get Ancestral. And that is fine. Hopefully they miss on Moxen and lands, and they just draw, 3 stock-ups or something. Steel Sabotage. Okay, my turn. How do we play? They've got Steel Sabotage in hand. I guess I just send cards at them. This is my Scrawling Crawler. My Manifold Key. It's my Grafdigger's Cage. Opponent loses a life and draws a card. Plays a Soul Ring. They've got Steel Sabotage in hand. We draw a Scrawling Crawler. They draw a card. We draw a Sensei's Top. So let's attack for 3. Play a Sensei's Top. So what I'm trying to do here is just leverage the fact that they can't cast their Steel Sabotage at all. So we may as well just keep the Time Vault, don't make them use their card, and they can't counter any of my other spells in the meantime, right? Draw a card, then put this card on top. I'd like to do that. I'm holding control. Hopefully my keyboard's plugged in. And now I can untap another target artifact with Ancient Tomb mana. Resolve that. Do I want to do it twice? Not really, because if they've drawn Hull Breacher, then this mana floating means they can't flash in a Hull Breacher. So I just get top and 1 card. I think that's acceptable. Yeah, I think that's fine, because now they can't flash in their top decked Hull Breacher against this. Otherwise, they'll still die. Oh no, they can because they've got treasure tokens, right? So what do we do now? Just play a Scrawling Crawler and pass the turn, and I presume that my cards will flow in. Opponent sabotages the Scrawling Crawler. Plays a Ponder from hand. Needs to find something new to do. Ponder resolves. They lose a life. They have a Misty Rainforest and 1 card. Underground Sea. Plays 2. Plays Stock Up. Stock Up gives them 2 cards. Force of Will Blue is very important. But also they are just kind of dying to the Crawler and the attack. Just the 3 mana 3/2 doing the deed. They're going to have 3 cards in hand now. I draw a card. Please be a land. Mindbreak Trap. That's really bad. What are you on? 7. Do I just jam Time Vault? Puts me down to 3 mana. I can't cast the Flesh Raker at the moment. They are kind of building into the game in a manner that I don't really like. They've got 5 mana. Next turn. So if I play top, they cast Mental Misstep. Okay, sure, yeah. Show me your Force of Will, because then you've got no cards again. And they just concede. Cool. So they just came off it. I don't know if I'm supposed to jam that earlier and just take the Steel Sabotage. But I felt just like leveraging, like just taxing their hand and their mana and the availability of their plays was better. I don't know, that was cool though. And we have had a couple of games here where Scrawling Crawler has had a text box, which is a lot more improved than I thought. You know, it has been quite a nice little clock for us in this game and the previous one as well. I know against my potatoes I drew 3 of them or whatever, but still that's going to happen, right? My deck is designed to ramp out 3 drops on turn 1. That's the joke. So no, it's done a little bit more than I was expecting it to do. Maybe it's just against Doomsday, PO, and Squee and stuff. It doesn't do anything, and that's absolutely fine, sort of thing. But then against the other decks, I think it's really good against. It's got to be really good against the mid-rangey things, right? Lurrus, it just gets plowed. We just give him a card and it gets plowed. I'm still struggling, even though it has won me games, sort of thing. But hey ho, we're in a new match. We're up against ASY. This is our opener against ASY. We've got a turn 1 One Ring and top and Nettle Cyst. Well, not all of them. You know what I mean. Let's see what ASY is doing with themselves today, and then we can take it from there. I presume I'm just supposed to jam One Ring on 1. And then that frees a path for everything else I draw. Opponent took a mulligan to 6. Does not have a Lurrus as a Dream Den, which is wild. They have Oath, Mana Crypt. Well, Orchard, Mana Crypt, sorry. Into stock up. I get a 1/1. So actually, I've changed my mind. I think it's going to be turn 1 Nettle Cyst, Mana Crypt, Sensei's top, take a look. Because we can slow roll the One Ring. There's been a few controlling Oath builds around, by the way. But we can slow roll the One Ring to counter their Oath trigger and get a time walk off of that. I think that's better, because that could be really problematic. So let's go Mishra's Workshop, Nettle Cyst. That resolves. I cast a Mana Crypt. I cast a Sensei's top. That gets Mind Break trapped. Banger. In for 1. Opponent's got 4 cards in hand. So yeah, they're on like a proper controlling Oath build then if they're playing Mind Break trapped in the main. They flip a Crypt and go to 16. I don't imagine they're show and tell. Soul Ring. Sapphire. They've still got a lot of fast mana, haven't they? How much mana is that next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana next turn? But crucially, they can't currently produce... Well, with a land drop next turn, they'll be able to produce more colours, but... So they might just be on Hardcast Attractor in the near future. If I draw nothing here, I will just play the One Ring. I drew the One Ring. How much mana is this? 5, 6, 7. 6, 7? That's tough. Is there any sort of Spell Pierce or anything? Not Spell Pierce exists, doesn't it? So I have to play a land beforehand. So I can just play my Academy first to play around Spell Pierce. Oh no, I've got 5 plus 3 is 8, yeah. Tool. So we get a hard cast Force from Negation here. out of the opponent. And then I can tap this for... No, I am short. Holy hell, it's hard. It's a tough day out. Opponent's got one card in hand, though, so... Any land drop casts a Traxxer. One, two. Yeah, there's 2 artifacts in play. Mana Crypt for the opponent. They're at 13 still. They play a Strip Mine. Any land drop that wasn't that one makes an Atraxa, right? Strip Mine kills Workshop, that's cool. They've got 1 card in hand. It could still just be permission. We have a Mana Crypt flip. Tails, please. I won the flip. Come on, big payoff. It's not as big as I was hoping. We'll still play it, just in case they're scared of me casting artifacts. No, it didn't work. I'll play an Ancient Tomb then. And then I'll cast a One Ring. This gives me a token. This forces something from them. Oath is typically a bad matchup for the Shops decks, but that's historically been the Sphere Shops style list, right? Is what that's been bad for. We attack for 6, opponent falls 2/7, has a Mana Crypt, needs literally Time Walk Oath here, I think, to get out of it. Or land a Traxxer again, but they probe me with mana. They probe themselves with mana. And then we win. Okay, cool. I liked the idea there of slow rolling the One Ring when they reveal that they're on Oath of Druids. I think that's good. I think Mastercores are going to be pretty big game in this matchup, but it's got the same problem as Oath of Druids itself, right? And it's a turn delay to do their thing. And then Mindbreak Trap seems really suspect to me. So I think we don't do the traps. We just do these 6. I'm going to announce Scrawling Crawler as incorrect for this matchup. And then do I want to come off some other creatures as well? Maybe just the Cisco. And we lean a bit more combo-y, but I've got answers to their combo and I've got answers to their Norods. What happens if I Stone Brain and a Traxxer? How do they win? Just Oko? Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything. That's really bad. Cool. So game 2 on the draw against Oath. Opponent's on 61. We have got a hand which has, oh god, potential, but is just atrocious, isn't it? Wait, did I not submit sideboarding? I thought I dropped the Nettle Cysts. Did I just drop 2 of them? Nettle Cyst. Oh, I dropped 4 Crawlers. Yeah, that makes sense. This hand's unkeepable, right? Turn 1 Flesh Raker. If they go turn 1 Oath of Druids, maybe it's good. Turn 1 Flesh Raker, no other plays though, is really tough, if you ask me. And then next turn, if I don't get wasted and my Flesh Raker resolves, I can start producing mana with Sensei's Top. No, I think this is too bad. It's like, if I get countered on the Flesh Raker, on the Grim Monolith, or Wastelanded here, the rest of my game just collapses and I have a liability of a 2/2 in play. So I think we just mulligan to something more explosive. This is arguably that. So let's keep this, drop the city. Say done and thank you. They have an Urza's Saga. An Amok Sapphire. And nothing else to do. Do I want to play Grim out? Or do I just want to play... I guess I have to play Grim, right? Because I can go Grim Monolith. Then I can play my keys. key. Untap the Grim. Play a key. That didn't get trapped. And now I'll play a Sensei's Top. This isn't very good at fueling my Masticore though. And now I'll take a look with top. My Academy next turn produces a lot of mana. That will cast a Khan next turn, and that I think is just going to be the plan. So I don't care about the city. The Ruby's fine and not offensive to me. And I can untap Grim Monolith here. And if I draw, can I get in? No. So we'll just untap a Grim and pass. They could have a range of Force of Figures here, actually. Would that change the way I'm set up for next turn? You figure two things, I just untap and cast Khan, so no, it's fine. And if we want to, we can flip into a Ruby. That'll give us some mana. Opponent's Saga ticks up, and they have a Mana Crypt. Okay. Mana Crypt makes a Soul Ring, and they have a Strip Mine for my Ancient Tomb. Which is fine, right? That doesn't matter. They make a token at sorcery speed. So maybe I'm supposed to just play Masticore out rather than... And they're not going after my Ancient Tomb, which is a shame. So, if I play Khan, then my token dies. I can stand up a key or a top. I can stand up top. What could I get from my sideboard that's relevant here? I could get a Nettle Cyst. Nettle Cyst is pretty thick. It's a 5/5 as well, but your guys are 6/6, so standing up top's just better. Top will draw me into a Ruby. Or I can take a look and draw into something else. What's on top? Ruby City blank. Let's play Khan, see if Khan resolves. Khan does resolve. Do I want to stand up top or do I want to kill their thing? Kill their, like, Sapphire or something? I think I kill Sapphire. That shrinks your thing. You can't make a token next turn. Now I can play Masticore, flip and discard Ruby and kill a token. Chump block if I have to. So I can untap another target artifact. That'll be this card here. And then I've got 4 artifacts. So I will just play the Academy. I think it's fine. And I'll tap off the Ancient Tomb. And I can flip to keep my Masticore alive. And I have to make sure I do that. That will draw me a Ruby. I could have looked. I didn't. So they've got a 3/3. It'll become a 4/4. They can't make a token. I'll flip into a Ruby. I'll discard a Ruby. I'll kill their... They float in upkeep. But what does that mean? It means they just tapped their mana at the wrong time. Saga dies. Saga can get an artifact. Another artifact. We need 2 more artifacts then. They've got a Tropical Island. Utter insignificance. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 1/1. Tasty. Okay. So can Khan just tank this then? No, I think I just block. I think I block. They tapped their strip mine to do this. I've got a ruby and a city of traitors on top. I don't really want to tap my monolith right now, so because they tapped their strip mine, I think I can just take a draw step, and I can just use my mana in my main phase. I know my ruby's dead, but that's not a problem in my opinion. Let's tap the monolith and take a look. It's City of Traitors plus something else. City of Traitors, Mishra's Workshop, Mystic Forge. So we will take Mystic Forge. They've got 2 cards in hand, but they can't cast anything. So we'll take Mystic Forge. Do I want to float my mana now? 1, 2, 3, 4? I probably do. Now I can play Mystic Forge. Play a top from the top. Draw with top to grab my workshop. Play my workshop. Tap it to play my top. And now there's a City of Traitors, and we'll use the Mystic Forge to clear that one, because I don't want a City of Traitors in hand. We've still got a Karn activation, which will probably get us a Nettle Cyst, but our opponent's not actually interested in playing anymore. So that was cool. Again, there's a lot of points here where like my sequencing could definitely be different, but we're doing okay, you know? Ooh, okie dokie. Final round. We're up against Mogged as well, which is quite exciting. We didn't get to play Mogged every day of the week. Not gonna lie, I'm usually in the wrong bracket for that sort of shit. And they've revealed a Lurrus, as is tradition. So, how do you play here? We could just like Mogged always plays like blue black Lurrus or Esper Lurrus or something. Usually a controlling list. So we could jam Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith, Patchwork, Bauble, whatever. Or we could play it a bit more cautiously and lead on the Bauble. And I think I prefer leading on Bauble and then playing a top. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to keep this hand because it's cracked. It is a double Ancient Tomb hand, which is a bit tough on the home team. But I like the turn 1 Bauble to check our opponent. I am expecting to get Wastelanded because I expect Mog to keep a Wasteland hand or a Bowmaster hand against me. Those 2 cards are going to be high up on their list of keepable things. They've got a Scrambled Good Boy, which is a card I don't know, but it's a cool picture. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead the slightly more disruptive route and then try and have a bigger, more exciting turn 2. Okay, opponent keeps on 7. And then we'll play an Ancient Tomb and we'll lead on Vexing Bauble. Oh, they could be on Sphere Shops, actually. I know they like that deck when it exists, sort of thing. Oh, no, they can't be. They've got a Lurrus. And now we'll play a Sensei's top. And I think I'll just pass there. That's fine by me. Because next turn I get to do it all, right? All might be a stretch, but you get the general idea. So, Scalding Tarn and pass. So they could have Spell Piercers here. But I still think I'm just going to lead Patchwork and then cast spells after that. Yes, I think that still remains to be true. So yeah, I'm going to go land, Patchwork, Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith doesn't get Spell Pierce, but I think I stop there because I want to One Ring through a Spell Pierce next turn. Although, are they just going to be on flusters? And I'm wrong. I think I can play slower against Lurrus, though. Opponent's going to fetch. They're going to get themselves there under city sewers. Or they're just going to cycle a Lorien or something. Oh, Vampiric Shooter. Okay, so a bit more combo-y than I was expecting. So what combo could they have here? Vault Key. A quick Vault Key. That's a number of manas away when I've got a Vexing Bauble in play. It could just be Ancestral. That would make a lot of sense as well. If they've got a main deck Rod, that would look pretty decent on this board. There's a boat. Volcanic Island. Volcanic Island pass the turn. So I think they've just gone and got Ancestral Recall. Dress down. Okie dokie. But my Bauble's still online. That's another Ancient Tomb. I'd really rather not. So let's take a look with top. See if we can find a different land. We cannot. The Emerald's bad. There's another One Ring for the future. So I guess go Emerald, One Ring, Grim. And I can tap this. Cast the One Ring. The One Ring gets in. I can draw the Grim. I can play the Grim. I can play the Ancient Tomb. Play Look with top, I guess. Mishra's Workshop. I mean, I do like the Workshop. There's no way for me to dig deeper here, is there? No. So I'm going to get both these cards next turn. And I'm going to need to resolve the One Ring somehow. I've already played a land, sure, I don't think it matters. I'll put the other top in play. And I'll slay for 2. Opponent falls to 15. I still have a Vexing Bauble. So their Breach Kill is a bit tough. But that is all I've got, right? Oh, actually, I've got the One Ring in play. They Ancestral themselves. Probably because it's the only legal target and they wanted to share, but I just prevented it, I guess. And they can see the game. Cool. So I think they're going to be on a Breach style list. I'm definitely interested in this Mindbreak Trap. I think I'm interested in Arcage, just as like a little Saga target, a little bit more on the top of the prison elements. Disruptor Flute, Stone Brain. This all seems bad, right? I could Stone Brain Underworld Breach, but then they'll just kill me with Psychic Frogs and crap. Or I can chill out and just ignore that. Maybe the Masticores have to come in, though, to defeat Norods. That's 6 cards. Ugh. Do they play Norods? Do I need 3 Masticores? Is that Duke just worth doing anyway? So what am I trying to bring in? 2 traps and 3 Masticores in a cage? Let's drop a key, a top, and a Grim. I like that little trim. Talon Gates could be dubious. Maybe I can just trim like a little bit of everything. I like that. Just be my 3 of Workshop deck. Go gather some information and refine sideboarding going into game 3, if we need game 3. But I've not eliminated any game plan. I've just kind of developed another one with the Mastercore. I do wonder if I'm supposed to just have a different key though as well. Just like looking at the list, I appreciate Manifold Key is like strictly better, but is there one supposed to be a Voltaic key just to play around like random needles and stuff like this? I don't know. Okay, opponent reveals a Lurrus. We've got a turn 1 Lodestone Golem, followed by a turn 2 Saga and other exciting factors about this hand. Opponent goes Island, Vexing Bauble. Okay, that's nice because that means I'm going to resolve my Lodestone Golem, and there's nothing our opponent can do about it. So let's go Workshop, Grimathy, Lodestone Golem. And then next turn we can play Urza Saga Sensei's top. And then the following turn we can play an Academy when it's ticked up a bit. They crack the Bauble immediately, they're off that idea. And they concede the match. Bang. So 4-1 with Raker Shops. The Scrawling Crawlers weren't as heinous as I'd said they'd be, like, sort of thing. They did a good job against Oath. They did a good job. Well, they were the finishing blow against Oath, right? Khan did the heavy lifting there, and then they were very good against in multiples against Mono Red Prison. Yeah, I'm still not convinced, but they were a lot better than I expected them to be. Every time I've had it played against me, I've just not seen it, sort of thing. That Doomsday matchup though, I'm really unsure how you improve that. You've already got Disruptor Flutes. Maybe I named the wrong thing. Could be true. They've got the Stone Brain in here. Maybe I was supposed to do more with that. And you've got traps. It's like 7 full cards for Doomsday. And then after that, you've got the difficult Mastercore Dance as well. This is actually quite a fun league. 4-1 in the blind sort of thing is quite nice. I do wonder about 4 keys, whether one of them's supposed to be the Voltaic. And otherwise, I quite like the deck. It's quite a lot of fun. It's a bit like playing Old Affinity, where you just dump your hand, and then at some point, 2 or 3 turns later, your opponent's either dead or you've drawn into something new that's just going to dagger them. So, yeah, cool league, a lot of fun, and then Scrawling Crawler, not the truth, but maybe not as much of a lie as I thought it was before. Thanks for watching, and I'll see yous again.